What's up, guys? Eli here, and Louie, of course. We're back to do a cassette tape collection video, our favorite dead format. What would you know? And so yeah, as always, got 10 tapes out of the collection, pretty much almost all black metal, but not quite. So anyways, let's take a look. And picking up where we left off with the last tape video, we have the last thing I have from Cultists from the Netherlands. This is their second full-length album entitled Hymns of Descending. Cultists are an excellent black metal band out of the Netherlands. Just one guy. His name is Arjun. He also runs the record label Haydn's Heart. So pretty cool label. So this is limited to 600 copies on the Anti-Humanism record label. And maybe I'll remind you, I've said this before. Nice J card. So Cultists is really good, kind of simple, traditional, kind of simplistic black metal, kind of Burzum. Just think, Burzum-esque, but not at all any kind of a clone band. He comes up with plenty of his own ideas. Just very, very, very good black metal. Did I show that? Anyways, what I was going to say is, I've covered this before briefly. When I'm doing my cassette tape videos, and a lot of the time I don't show the tape, and I just show the J card and stuff. The reason is because a lot of my black metal tapes are dubbed distro tapes, so they usually look like that. I kind of wanted to go over that with you guys because a lot of people don't realize this, or they just don't understand. They weren't there at the specific time. So around in the earlier 2000s, I can't say exactly when it started. It was real popular around like 2010, 2012, but it started some years before that. Labels and distros, as they always have, would trade stock with other labels and distros. So a lot of these labels, especially these black metal labels, were from overseas, all over Europe, all over the place, really, almost every country you can think of. They came up with this plan that it would be a lot cheaper to just ship stacks of J cards to these other distros, and they would just have the distros. They would send them like a master tape or a master CDR, and they would just have the distros dub their own copies as they were sold. And there were kind of some reasons behind that. First of all, it was a hell of a lot cheaper. Tapes back in those days were already going for really cheap. They were already only selling for $5-6. And in order to make any sort of a profit, in order to not completely lose your ass, it was cheaper, shipping from other countries, cheaper just to ship a stack of J cards and not full tapes. So like I said, the distros would just dub them as they went. So these aren't bootlegs. Whenever I've gotten a lot of questions from people about tapes like this when they get them, from eBay or Discogs or whatever. If you get any kind of a blank tape of any sort, it doesn't have to be white, that likely is a legitimate copy. There are some, there's a little bit more to it. There's a little bit of some gray area, but basically, yeah, they aren't bootlegs. They're authorized by the labels and the bands. It's not as common now. I think there still might be some places that do it. Some distros and stuff like that. I'm not completely positive, but anyways, it was a big thing for a while. And another reason that they did it is because they thought that pro tapes in black metal were just starting to get super trendy. When you think about it, it's the truth. I mean, I don't really want to go into why I think that or why they were thinking that, but yeah. So they were doing it as, first of all, financially better plan, and also it was kind of an anti-trend thing, which I can totally get behind. So anyways, I have a lot of them in my collection. So we'll move on from Cultists. But Cultists, yeah, if you like Burzum, if you like that style of black metal, I mean, anything Cultists is awesome, so check them out. Next, we have a couple of tapes from out of the Czech Republic, Czechia. We got Dark Storm. Now, Dark Storm were a band formed in 1994 by Vlad Blasphemer from the famous Maniac Butcher Czech band. One of my favorite Czech black metal bands. Love Maniac Butcher. Dark Storm are no different. That same style of just old school, true, simplistic black metal, no trends, he liked to say. Really good stuff. And Dark Storm are quite similar, I gotta say. So like I said, they formed in 94. They ended around 2009 or so. We're going to start off with their debut demo from 94, same year they formed, in Nominee Darkstorm. This is a cool demo, a raw, pure, European second wave sounding black metal. This came out on Pussy God Records, which was Vlad Blasphemer's record label that he ran for quite some time. Now, Vlad passed away not too long ago. I'm not sure if anyone is running Pussy God Records for him to this day. I'd actually like to look into that, but I haven't. The three guys there, the Pussy God Records logo. And as he did on some of the earlier Pussy God Records, in order to make people aware that they weren't getting a bootleg, because some of the stuff was just printed on computer paper, he put a stamp in there. So basically a stamp of authenticity. So pretty cool. So this is not hand numbered. I'm not actually sure. I think this is some sort of a second pressing. So I'm not exactly sure what year it came out. And the reason I think that is just because I've seen the J card of the first pressing, and it does look a little bit different. So I think this is a second pressing. I can't find info on Metal Archives or even Discogs, so kind of strange. But yeah, I'm going to call it second pressing. That's as close as I can come. But and then we're moving on a couple years, because I don't have all their stuff, but we have their fourth release, which is their 1996 EP, For Lucan Emperors. Just more of the same style of black metal. It's awesome. I've actually listened to this probably more than any of the other Darkstorm releases, so I'm a little more familiar with this. I'm kind of partial to it. I've always really liked this. So this also, I think this is this is also a Pussy God record release, and I think this is a joint release with View Beyond Records, which is a label. I don't remember if they're from Czechia as well. I don't remember, but yeah, joint release between Pussy God and View Beyond. Very strong in the Darkstorm discography. Like I said, it's probably my favorite, but I haven't heard everything they've done. And then moving on the next year after that, I have from 1997, the fifth release from the band, The Rival of the Eagle. This is a re-release. The date is unknown, but I think it was probably, I don't know, I think it had to have been, I'm really not sure. I think this might have been 97, but if not, it might be 98 or 99. I can't really remember. So you just got a old Maxell tape. You still see these a lot. So this was released by a label called Black Bunker. I don't really have much info on Black Bunker. I'm not super familiar with them. Limited to 100 copies. But they did a pretty good job on this J card. It's pretty damn nice, considering the time especially. Pretty cool. So yeah, if you like no frills, but good, second wave style black metal, definitely look into Darkstorm. If you already, especially if you like Maniac Butcher and you're already familiar with Maniac Butcher, maybe you have all their stuff, Darkstorm should be your next kind of a natural progression as a fan. Then I have the debut demo from 2003, solo band by a guy out of Greece called Dawn of Division, with Outrage of Desolation. So this band, or project, whatever you want to call it, started in 2002, still active. He's got a couple other releases under his belt. So this is a tape release. This came out on the Gungnir Productions label, which was a label out of Brazil. It was a pretty cool label, just very DIY, raw black metal stuff that he would put out. I think he only put out under 20 releases. It's no longer active. This is some really cool black metal, like I said, out of Greece, but this doesn't have your typical Greece sounding black metal. This is more like it's quite keyboard heavy. You could probably call it symphonic black metal. I kind of don't. I kind of call it just kind of keyboard heavy, atmospheric, raw black metal. It's not grand and orchestral like a lot of symphonic black metal. So I think just because black metal might have some prominent keyboards, I don't personally, I don't think that necessarily makes it symphonic black metal. This doesn't really sound symphonic to me. Just because there's keyboards don't equal symphonic. I love keyboards in my black metal, especially when it's done with like raw black metal and not like super high produced stuff. Really cool. There's a Pink Floyd cover on here. It's just different sounding black metal. It's not. I don't really have a lot to compare it to, but it's very well done. Then I have a really cool split by two bands. One called Deadest Dreams and one called Arvindil. Deadest Dreams were a really cool black metal band formed. These are both solo projects, but Deadest Dream formed in San Francisco around 2007. Not exactly sure when the project split, but I think he had two releases. I think he had the split and then he had an EP. Arvindil is a French black metal band, also solo. That went from about 2006 to 2013. So this is a 2009 release, limited to 333 copies. We're talking about Adrift. This split is called between two really cool bands. Came out on tour to Garde, which is a pretty prominent French black metal label, still going strong to this day. Did I say French? It's a Canadian label. Sorry about that. French-Canadian, I think, though, but so I wasn't totally wrong. So Deadest Dreams, they played a really cool, I don't know, what would you call it? First of all, he got the name from Weakling, from a Weakling song. I'm sure you know Weakling. So Deadest Dreams were kind of kind of a raw, atmospheric type black metal. I think he was probably going for that, that Cascadian sound a little bit. I don't know if it's just the name that was Weakling influence, and maybe that's getting into my, kind of affecting my perception of the band, but I kind of do hear maybe a little bit of Weakling in there. Kind of if you like Wolves in the Throne Room and stuff like that, that type of grand, atmospheric black metal, I think you'd like Deadest Dreams. Arvindil were more of a kind of a cavernous, raw black metal band, really cavernous sounding and like claustrophobic, harsh production, but still, I always find their music really engaging. He put out a handful of releases that were all really strong. I remember people talking about them quite a bit back when he was active. So, if you're maybe a little bit new to black metal, or maybe you just kind of drifted off at one point, check out Arvindil. I think you'd really dig it. Look into it. It's cool. This is just a cool split. I love listening to it when I have the time. And then we have out of the U.S. Death Fetishist. So this band formed in 2015 by Matron Thorn, who's been in he's had a lot of bands, a lot of them just solo by himself. Seems to be quite the busy and talented dude. He was in that band Evangelist, which I always thought were really cool. So this is the debut EP from this project from 2016. I have the Sol y Nieve tape version. Sol y Nieve, ran by a buddy of mine. I don't know if I'd say that the label is defunct, but it is inactive, largely inactive. I don't know. I don't really see him picking it back up again, but I can't speak for him entirely. I hope he does, honestly, because he just put out really good stuff. I mean, look at this tape. It's beautiful. Awesome. I tried to get as much stuff from his label as I could. This is one of my favorite things that he released. This is just really good. I don't really like Matron Thorn as a person. Not that I know him, but just stuff that I've read about him. But I mean, he is talented. There's no doubt about that. This is limited to 100 copies, by the way. Now, I always kind of describe this band as, it's very much atmospheric black metal. It's kind of depressive sounding, but it's also kind of like psychedelic sounding. I mean, those terms I use those terms loosely, but it kind of reminds me of like if you took Zastor and crossed it with Chaos Moon from the U.S. Mix those two, and I think you got a damn good idea of what Death Fetishist sounds like. I don't like the band name either, but this is killer, and I've heard his full length as well, and it did not disappoint. Really fucking good. So, Death Fetishist, check it out. Then next I have this cool kind of ripping, raw, old school style death thrash band called Dethroner, from Canada, formed in 2004, went to about 2017. This is the first full length from 2010, limited to 666 copies. This came out also on the Tour de Garde label. Nice little J card, very simply done. Nuclear War Now, I know, put out the vinyl. If you like raw, primitive, early sounding death thrash, Dethroner I think very much could be for you. If you like Brazilian stuff, if you like even some of that raw Canadian stuff, it's pretty good. Then I have a band that I've always been ashamed that I don't have more from, but I do plan on changing that someday. I think I only have like 2 releases from this band. It's just stupid. This is one of the earliest Portuguese black metal bands called Decade. Formed in 1990 and still going strong. Crazy to think that. This was released in 2003, limited to 500 copies. Pure fucking mayhem, live in 1993. I can't remember where this was recorded at, but this came out on the, what was this label called? The Satan Hades production, something like that. It was a Portuguese black metal label. So yeah, like I said, one of the earliest and one of the best black metal bands to ever come out of Portugal. Very, very pure black metal. They do not compromise their sound. They do not try to evolve, become something grander than what they were meant to be. This is very much Bathory-esque black metal, and it kicks ass. To this day, they're still putting out albums, and I'll check them out almost every time they put one out, and every time I'm like, God damn, this is just great, Bathory sounding black metal. I'm surprised more people don't listen, but more people need to listen to Decay. They should be a black metal staple in most people's collections. And then we got one that I think kind of got swept under the carpet. I should have shown this in like the second or third tape video, and I'm pretty sure I forgot. So we're talking about a band called Andromelech out of Mexico. Formed in 2004, still going strong. I've heard that their other stuff is really good too, but I just haven't really got around to it. This came out in 2008, limited to 333 copies. Came out on Crocomort Productions. We're talking about Destroyers of Cosmic Order. Atmospheric black metal, very raw, quite intense. Maybe almost, I don't know if I'd say depressive, but yeah, raw, simplistic, atmospheric black metal. Do I have any comparisons? Nah, not right now. Nothing I can think of. I think I've given you enough information to decide if you maybe want to take a look. I actually really want to take a look at their other albums because I've heard they're all really good. This is one of their first releases, and honestly, I have this thing where I just like Mexico as a black metal country. I feel like a lot of I don't know if I'd say my favorite, but a lot of black metal bands that I really, really fucking dig, and even death metal bands, were out of Mexico. So whenever I see black or death metal bands out of Mexico, I tend to look into them without any hesitation. And I'll admit I haven't spent a lot of time with that, which is why I'm just like, black metal, it's raw and it's atmospheric. Sorry I can't give you more. I just, when you become a collector like me, and maybe you are, when you have so much fucking stuff, plus you're getting a little older, your brain's not working as well, I just can't remember everything all the time. So I try to give you guys the best descriptions that I can. I usually take notes when it comes to dates and limitations and record labels and stuff like that, but I don't know, dude. I do these for you to find something you might like, something that even just piques your interest enough to go check it out. Nowadays, fuck, dude, you can find most bands right here on YouTube. Whether or not you can find full albums, you can always find something to just give you a little sampler of what it is, and enough for you to decide whether you're interested or not. Anyways, I don't know if that was that a rant? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm not mad. Are you mad? I'm not mad, and I'm not mad at you especially. But anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. As always, I'll be back soon with a horror movie video. What am I going to do next? I already have it planned out. It's going to be Tales from the Bargain Bin, 99-cent horror DVDs. We'll see. Are any of them good? Who knows? We'll find out soon. Anyways, Louis says hello. Like I said, thanks for stopping by. We will talk soon. Hugs. Cheers.